text, and you have called in. I'm trying to listen to what you say, but I mean this very respectfully. I'm not entirely.
Oh dear, not the very respectfully.
Oh, very respectfully. I'm not entirely clear what point you're making. So I've got 4 more minutes before the break.
All right, so in this video, you're going to see a caller try to lecture James on biological sex, claiming he listens too much to trans voices. We'll watch James expose her stunning hypocrisy in this debate. Let's watch this together, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
Joe is in Brighton. Joe, what would you like to say?
Hi, I just wanted to say that I wanted to reiterate what Lord Hodge said today, that this shouldn't be seen as a victory for either side. Don't you agree?
I don't know.
Don't you agree that it shouldn't be seen as a victory? Why should there be a trade-off between women's rights and transgender rights? Shouldn't we be happy that Lord Hodge explained how both transgender and women are equally protected under this interpretation of the Equality Act? I'm so worried that scaremongering about erasing transgender existence or allowing irreparable harm to transgender lives is going to sow panic among transgender people. And
I just want to clarify a couple of things, because scaremongering is always unhelpful. Are you transgender, Joe? No, you're not. But all of the people who've made the point that you're addressing now.
One called Alan. I know.
No.
I'm so glad I managed to get through.
Well, so am I. But all of the people who've talked about fearing erasure have been transgender. So I don't think it's fair to accuse them of scaremongering.
No, I'm not accusing them of scaremongering because they're not interpreting. They weren't interpreting the decision as doing that. They were talking about fear in their own lives, and I'm saying
they were talking about the decision. So I suppose the question that we're asking, I haven't given any thought to whether or not I think this should be celebrated. So I can only apologise for that, and I'm not quite sure what Laura Todd has said.
Why do you think women
the question
are celebrating?
Why are people celebrating is the question I'm asking.
Well, why do you think women in particular, and men called Alan, we mustn't forget women and men called
lots of
Alan.
men. No, well, Alan was a particularly pungent example of a constituency. Yeah. So, I mean, I have been told today that people are celebrating a step closer towards a society in which transgender people are not acknowledged in any way.
Really?
That's what. But you've heard the same phone in, Joe.
Yes, but I find it extraordinary that you would just. You admit that you don't actually know much about the decision or what informed
it. Well, I've been live on air since 10 since the decision was handed down. But that's what the phones.
You just rocked up without really knowing it was going on.
That's what the phones are for. That's what the phones are for. I mean, I've been swatting up all morning, but I'm not quite sure what you're telling me.
Swatting up all morning. Well done.
So what else could the judge have done? Do you think? What were the other options open to the judges today?
Oh, they could have done many things. You think? I don't understand the question.
What else could the judges have done? So they handed down a judgment that the Equality Act's definition of a woman is based on biological sex. It wouldn't have gone to...
They could have said it was certifiable sex rather than biological sex.
Yes.
There are many different ways that they could have ruled, but in essence, that's what it is. Can you tell me again who brought the case to the Supreme Court?
Well, is this a rhetorical question?
Wasn't it For Women Scotland?
Yes.
Yes. And who funds For Women Scotland on this epic?
I'm not sure.
Since 2018.
Yes, they're crowdfunded and they've received a large donation from J.K. Rowling. I don't.
Not much by men called Alan. I'm very upset by the way that this is being framed as somehow not not something done for women who are very concerned about their erasure, but somehow it's all about the erasure of trans people.
Yes.
And it is simply not true that it's about the erasure of trans people. And sowing more discord between women and trans people is incredibly irresponsible and exactly the thing that Lord Hodge said should not be done.
Okay, but you're not suggesting I shouldn't take calls from transgender people in a discussion about legislation directly addressing transgender people then?
Of course not.
So what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting, Joe?
I'm suggesting that your editorial framing should perhaps give less weight to erasing transgender people,
but it's a phone-in
maybe
show.
A little bit more towards why women brought the case, and that was the erasure of women
show.
As a bio.
I can only work with the people that call me.
You have no editorial framing.
No.
How many times have you said erasing transgender people?
Well, I'm repeating what my callers have said to me.
Oh, you've had... Interesting how every comment on X is a woman supporting this decision, but you have had none call you.
Right, so you think we should be more like X?
Did I say that?
I don't. I'm trying to work out what you did say.
That?
Why did you bring X into it?
Because that's where some people are talking about it. Did I say you should be more like X?
Why did you mention X?
Because that's another place where people are talking about it.
And so is this.
A few more than you, I'm sorry.
Live and let live.
But,
the conversation on X can unfold in one direction.
I love the way that you're presenting yourself. It's
That's very kind.
completely neutral. I'm so neutral. And I'm only going by what the people that call in and say. You're not even slightly.
I've also read out a lot of text, and you have called in. I'm trying to listen to what you say, but and I mean this very respectfully. I'm not entirely.
Oh dear, not the very respectfully.
Oh, very respectfully. I'm not entirely clear what point you're making. So I've got 4 more minutes before the break.
I'm making the point that this decision today in no way erases transgender people. It's not, as you said, the first step on the ladder towards the erasure.
That was me again. That was me repeating a caller. But I'm glad you've made this point. But is it fair to suggest?
It is not that.
No, but is it fair to suggest that what transgender people feel today is perhaps more important than what you and I feel?
What women feel?
No, that what you and I feel. That what you and I feel about this judgment.
No.
Okay. In the context of how does this make transgender people feel?
Not more important than what I feel as a woman.
No. But you're telling them how they feel. You're telling them that they shouldn't feel as if it's erasure.
I'm so not.
You are.
No, I'm not. They can feel however they like. I think you
did.
No, I didn't. I said precisely
yes?
that this ruling does not do that.
But they think it does.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
If they do, but it
well, you know they do, because they've all told me that they do, and you're telling them that they don't.
No, I'm saying go to the ruling, listen to Lord Hodge, and be reassured. Don't be inflamed.
Well, we could have said that. We could have said that a little bit quicker. Yeah. But we got there in the end. So go to the ruling, listen to Laura Hodge or Todd.
Laura Hodge. Oh, get with it. How can anyone take you seriously?
Well, I urge you not to.
Lord Hodge.
Lord Hodge. I thought you kept saying Laura Hogg. I've read what Lord Hodge has said.
Do you know who Lord Hodge is?
That's why I was so confused, Joe.
Do you know who Lord Hodge is?
Of course I know who Lord Hodge is. It was Laura Todd I was confused about.
Yeah, you didn't think I was saying Laura Todd.
I promise you I did, but hey, you know what everyone else is thinking, so it doesn't matter what I say, does it?
Yeah.
Anyway, have a great day, Joe.
Yeah, you too.
And enjoy X. I suspect you'll feel very at home there these days.
Wow, yet again, you're seeing the evidence of someone completely radicalized on social media. Let's break this down. Joe came in with the classic bad faith argument. She wasn't interested in the substance of the court ruling. Instead, she wanted to police the conversation itself. She accused James of editorial framing that gave too much weight to the erasure of transgender people. But James set a perfect trap. He asked a simple question. What was she suggesting? And her entire argument collapsed. She demanded that James give less weight to the fears of transgender callers. Think about that hypocrisy for a second. In the name of fairness, she was literally telling a marginalized group that their feelings are invalid and shouldn't be heard. And it wasn't a debate about the law. It was a meta debate about who is allowed to feel fearful. And James masterfully exposed this. He pointed out that the people expressing fear are transgender people, and that he's just the host platforming their calls. His job is to reflect the conversation, not dictate how people should feel, which is exactly what the caller was trying to do. And then the final nail in the coffin is when she bizarrely brought up the social media platform X, and James instantly turns it back onto her by saying, "You think we should be more like X?" And of course, she was left speechless, because the reality of the situation is, while these people have been radicalized, there is still a corner of their brain that understands the ridiculousness of their positions and how they have actually been conned by these social media platforms. And from James's perspective, it was a masterclass in dismantling an argument that was built on nothing but condescension. So what are your thoughts? What was the moment for you that the caller's argument completely fell apart? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons for more, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.